Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you made it here today. I'm going to be talking about a mortgage. A number of people have been asking me, is it better to buy a house or to rent a house? On that question, really, I would say it depends on where you are. If you are able to, I would say it's better to buy a house than to rent a house, because when you're renting a house, you're just giving all your money to your landlord, whilst when you buy a house, even if it's through the mortgage, then you'll be putting equity into that house. So that will be a different topic that we'll talk about in another video, about the advantages of maybe buying a house over renting. Today, really, I just want to focus on the word mortgage itself, or the mortgage. Mortgage is a French word. It originates from the French, and it's a composition of two words, mortgage. Mort, which means death. I'm not here to scare you or anything like that, but I want us to look at the origin of the mortgages. And the gage simply means a pledge. So a mortgage is a death pledge. It's a legal agreement between a bank or other creditors to lend money at an interest, of course, in exchange for the title of the debtor's property, on the condition that when the whole amount is paid off, then the title will be given back to the debtor. The French peasants were working for the privilege of owning a house, and they were working until they died. They entered into death contracts where they would continue paying the banks or whoever they owed the money until after they died, then the pledge was up, or it was over with. And it's kind of similar with the mortgages that we have, especially here in America. In Africa, of course, it's a little bit different, though now I see a lot of mortgages like the country where I come from. But before, we worked hard to buy our own houses by cash, if you were able to. But even here in America, you are able to buy a house for cash if you want to. So it depends on where you are financially. I would say it's better to buy a house than to live in a rented property. Today's mortgages are kind of similar to the ones that the French peasants used to have, in that the bank will give you, or the creditor will usually give you, about 30 years for you to pay back. When you get to refinance that mortgage, it will be even longer than 30 years. A lot of people end up even dying before they finish paying their mortgage. And if you haven't finished paying for that mortgage, it means your house will still go back to the bank. You know, in a way, the bank will get back that property again as long as it's not paid for. So what am I saying? It's still okay to buy a house than to rent a house, but there are certain things that you need to consider before going into a mortgage so that you can come out of it as quickly as possible. After this video, I'll be teaching you or showing you how I cut off a third of my mortgage within 3 years. How you can easily come out of a mortgage within the shortest period of time. Because one thing you should always know is that the banks or whoever you borrow money from, their interest is to make profit out of the money that they give you. So you should find a way of beating them at their own game. Pay them within the shortest period of time so that you don't accrue too much interest. And then also there are a number of things that you should consider before going into a mortgage. So the first thing is, get a house that's affordable. Something that you can pay off easily by making monthly payments, or where you can even be able to pay a little more than just the regular monthly payments that's allotted to that mortgage. That becomes primary. And even as you are looking for a house, make sure you find something within the range that you can not be stressing too much as you make your payments. Secondly, you need to make sure that you read whatever information is being given to you by the bank or whoever the creditor may be in this case. So don't just be too quick to sign your rights away, because once you have signed the paperwork, then you are bound into that mortgage and it's legal, and there's no way you can easily come out of it. So don't be too quick to sign away your rights. Make sure you read in between the lines. That is said to say that once you get a loan, it looks like the banks or the creditors are being so nice to you. Yes, they are helping you out, but at the same time, you should always remember that it works out for their good. So they are looking out for their own interests first before they look out to your interests. In that case, you need to make sure that you know what you're signing for. And then thirdly, you need to pay off that mortgage as quickly as possible. You may ask me, how can I pay off my mortgage quickly? That I'll be putting in my next video, how to pay off your mortgage quickly. I'm going to break down how I paid off a third of my mortgage within the first 3 years of buying a house. So you need to work on paying off quickly so that you don't owe much to the banks. And finally, even if you are in a 30-year mortgage, you can work to reduce the years by a number of things that you're going to do to make sure that you paid off quicker than what the banks are expecting of you. I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you, and so that we can stay debt-free and be empowered, especially in this year of redemption. Please leave me a comment about what you think about the mortgage, and also any questions or any suggestions of the things you would want me to talk about in the next videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be talking to you very soon.